Hillary Clinton has marked her place in history after officially accepting the Democratic nomination for president on Tuesday and becoming the first ever female candidate for a major U.S. party.
America is great because America is good.
But outside the Democratic National Convention, demonstrators have been protesting against Clinton's nomination for the fourth day in a row. Protesters expressed their support for Clinton's former rival, Senator Bernie Sanders, lashing out at the party's decision. They chanted, "We won't vote for Hillary," while some even vowed to quit the Democratic Party. RT's Caleb Morpin went to one of the Sanders protests to ask people what they feel about the split among Democratic voters.
From the stage of the Democratic National Convention, Hillary Clinton attempted to unify her party and present it as moving forward in order to defeat Donald Trump in November. However, outside the convention, there are many rank-and-file Democrats who are completely disillusioned with the system and frustrated with what went on inside the convention hall. They say they aren't ready to support Hillary Clinton and that they're very frustrated and unsure of exactly where to go next.
I feel like it wasn't a fair primary. I feel like there were a lot of votes not counted, a lot of voter suppression. I mean, I feel like Hillary Clinton's campaign didn't care at all that there was voter suppression.
I think people just have to stand up now and pick a third-party candidate. I don't think you can trust Hillary. She's flip-flopped so many times. I think just because she says she's going to do something now, it doesn't mean that she's going to change her mind, you know, once she gets in there.
She does not represent my values. At this point, most of us are leaving the Democratic Party. We leave, and then we just continue on, and we get into the politics for ourselves. We start our revolution with Bernie's next group. And the protests, I don't think the mass media has really covered what's going on outside the DNC. Mass media and CNN and all the ones that don't want to show us.
Well, as that protester was just saying, there have been claims the media's turned a blind eye to the large demonstrations. RT's Gayane Chichakan has more.
Images in the media coverage of the Democratic Convention project party unity and cheers for Hillary Clinton.
There's only really been two other presidents who even came close to displaying the kind of convention enthusiasm for a successor or a potential one that we saw last night.
Leading news media have kept their coverage of protests at the convention at a minimum. Once even interrupted it to show a music band performance.
Please, if you look over this way.
All right, Miguel, thank you so much. We're going to cut you off. We're going to cut you off right now. We're going to cut you off right now. We're going to cover right now Boys to Men.
The convention kicked off with a massive leak of Democratic National Committee emails, from which the public learned that from the beginning of the presidential race, the party that claimed to be neutral conspired to undermine Bernie Sanders. Much of the media focus, however, was on the Clinton campaign's explanation that it was Russia trying to influence the election.
Releasing these emails for the purpose of actually helping Donald Trump. I don't think it's coincidental that these emails were released on the eve of our convention here, and that's disturbing.
Dozens of articles and news reports instantly popped up, stirring the public to believe that Russia is trying to steal the U.S. election. At this point, there's no evidence Russia leaked the Democratic Party's emails. But the media are already running with that theory.
So it's a story that seems to be unsubstantiated. Clearly, they want to divert attention away from the content of the emails, especially during the all-important Democratic National Convention, which is very important to the Democrats. They have every incentive to try to create a distraction. They have a lot of allies in the media who are willing to talk about this and cover someone making effectively unsubstantiated claims. It is a distraction.
Before the leak of DNC emails, leading news outlets had already cast Trump as a Russian agent, based on the fact that he said he wanted good relations with Moscow and thought NATO should not be anti-Russian.
I haven't seen any evidence that Russia or any other foreign power is trying to influence unduly the American election. There's been some speculation that many of the people in the so-called prestige press, mainstream press, basically are following the storyline that has been put out by the Democratic National Committee, the Clinton campaign.
By now, many of us have already gotten used to a certain level of bias in the media. Bernie Sanders complained about lopsided media coverage, and we found out from leaked emails that his own party used its resources, including media connections, to defeat him. Protests at the Republican convention were covered more extensively than those at the Democratic convention. But now, something more dangerous may be unfolding. In the absence of any evidence that Russia was behind the leaks, leading media outlets seriously suggest Russia is trying to steal the U.S. election. To paraphrase this headline in The Atlantic, it is now official. Hillary Clinton has turned this into a campaign against Russia, and major media organizations are helping to push that narrative. In Washington, I'm Ganesh Chakyan, RT.